Young Prince was a skillful steed rider. He had 10,000 steeds and was interested in training rapid steeds. He wished would one day to come to the throne instead of his father. One of March morning, while Prince was riding, he saw a man. The man approached and started talking. He praised the prince as a fresh, vigorous, and courageous man. He added that young Prince was honorable to be king rather than his aged father. The prince, whose name was Zahhak, really enjoyed the man's words. Prince asked, "How can I be the king?" The man answered, "I have a good plan in mind, but you must promise to keep it as a secret." Zahhak accepted and got parted from each other. Mardus, Zahhak's father, who was a faithful and kind man, would spend midnights praying in the beautiful garden of his palace. The same night he went to the garden for praying when he fell into a hovel containing darts and died. This hovel had been made by the strange man who disappeared since then. When Mardus died, Zahhak commanded to hold funeral for a week all around country. It was how Zahhak come to the throne. Zahhak had been king when a coming cook came to the palace. He bowed to the king and asked for permission to be head chef. He also mentioned that he could make delicious dishes that the king had never tasted. Zahhak, who was an Epicurean man, accepted and passed the kitchen key to the man. Those days, people were vegetarian, while the head chef made delicious kinds of meat which king enjoyed eating. Day after day, he became crueler to the people. His courtiers believed eating these new chef food is the cause of his misbelieving and cruelty. After a long time, head chef told that he had to leave the palace to take care of something important. Before leaving, had a request from king. King, who was satisfied with him, said, "Do you request or wish you like?" Chef said, "I just want you to let me kiss upon your shoulders." He kissed King's shoulders and suddenly faded away. As the man left, Zahhak felt kind of pain and irritation upon his shoulders, unaware of what was going on. Once in the morning when King got up, heard something hissing close to his ears. He opened his eyes and saw a wide open mouth serpent. Screaming, he quickly ran around room. Hearing, the hissing serpent followed him. When guards entered room, got shocked and stared at him. Zahhak looked at himself but couldn't find anything strange. Suddenly, a couple of disgusting serpents closed his face, attracted his attention. He frightened and panicked. Palace was filled with crowds and murmuring. Finally grieving, he came to cousins. The most knowledge experts and doctors gathered to find a cure for his disease. Upon Zahhak's shoulders, which were kissed by the head chef, 2 serpents grew. As soon as expert cut the snake, they would grow again. Zahhak's situation was topic of talks and discussion everywhere. People believed that the chef was a witch and spelled Zahhak. No one expects some of King's close relatives. And courtiers was allowed to the palace. As time passed, King was disappointed by the doctor's solution. Any cure was found for his disease. Serpent grew bigger surrounding him. They become annoyance to him. For Zahhak, there was any way but to suffer. One day, sitting enthroned King was accompanied by a doctor. The doctor respected King and recommended to cure him. King cheerfully said, "I would give anything you want if you vanish serpents." The doctor said, "This disease just can be cured by an ungraceful solution. Nevertheless, King recovery is quite honorable for everyone. If you want serpents to vanish, they must be feeded by a couple of man's brain every day." Zahhak said as if surprised, "What? Killing innocent men for the disgusting serpents to be fed with?" The doctor used deceiving words, so that convinced him feed serpents by men's brain. This was the 3rd time which King was deceived by evil. First time he was deceived to kill his father. Second time he trusted to evil-mannered food and got surrounded by serpents. And this time evil's temptation might cause annihilate Iran and Iranians. Any time he would appear in different shapes to perform his evil plans. From then, lots of young men were jailed for their brains to feed serpents. Many young men were killed and families mourned for their missed children. Frightened people did not dare to protest against evil-mannered king and spelling witches who were under his control. One night, Zahhak had nightmare. Scaring waked and immediately asked dream interpreters for his dream interpretation. For a week, they were counseling King, who was impatient, commended them to tell the truth. Finally, one of them, shivering, said, "As you know, everyone would die someday, and kings leave the throne for others to come. Therefore, King, your honor, your dream means that you're supposed to leave us and die, because soon, a boy named Feridun, related to Tahmores, older Iranian king, will be born. As young, he will stand against you to vanish your throne. Cruel Zahhak commanded to search country for so-called boy and vanish such a family." Feridun was born. Abtin was a simple farmer who lived with his wife Faranak in a shack. They reserved quiet kind of life until guards and soldiers took him arrested to the palace. Abtin was killed same as the other men. Poor was scared Faranak took Feridun with her and settled in the Alborz mountains because she knew sooner or later time would come for her son's brain to feed serpents. Around Alborz cave, a faithful man was settled far from cruel Zahhak. Faranak gave Feridun to the man and asked him not to talk about this child to anyone. Man agreed. Since then, Feridun was brought up in the Alborz, yet become a vigorous and courageous young man. Feridun was informed by his mother, who sometimes kept track of him, how Zahhak killed his father and many other innocent men. Thus, he was always looking forward to revenge his father's death. Zahhak still kept on killing men and ruling by spelling witches. One day, a man for requestion justice comes to the palace, screaming and calling King hammered at the gate. King and courtiers were discussing. When Zahhak heard noises, he let the man in. As he attended, he said, "I am Kaveh Ahhnger. I have come to save my last son's life. He is in your prison." In a loud voice, he continued, "Why did you kill all my sons?" Zahhak, in court of countries and royal family, guaranteed freedom of his son. Then he asked Kaveh to sign the paper considering king and courtiers as faithful and justiceful rulers. Kaveh approached and torn the paper, turned his face to King, said, "These courtiers are dreaded by you because their lives is yours, and you provide them, but I make my ends meet by smithy crafts. What kind of justice is this?" Kaveh left the palace to call people for war. Lots of people joined him. Kaveh put his leather iron work cloth on a dart and raised it up in the sky. He took people where Feridun was settled in the Alborz. Day after day, many others joined them. And Feridun trained people in military fields. After a while, Feridun, with his mother and brothers, Kaveh and Kaveh's son, and an army, including Iranian people, moved toward Zahhak's palace. Kaveh walked in the frontier, appearing with the flag. Feridun and the army reached the palace after a few days. A struggling war between soldiers and people ensued. As Feridun entered the palace, everything returned to normal, as if a spell had been broken. He was faithful and a man of belief and spirit. Finally, after many years, people celebrated because he rescued them from Zahhak's cruelty. Feridun succeeded to the throne, but was never deceived by evil. Zahhak was arrested and taken to Damavand. Feridun put Zahhak in jail and returned to the capital to help people cultivate.